can't see Bergen. That's Bergen. I think we have to go the other way. I don't like it. We're going to do this. You don't have to look at Carl and I. You can look at that. You can watch the traffic in Bergen and still hear it. But the fun thing is I actually have my computer today so I can hear. I can read the chat. So I'll turn that on. Outer's here too. Hello from Trondheim, she says. Okay, I can see the chat actually on my computer window too now. So we're in Bergen. This is very Viking looking. What's the temperature today here, Carl?
It's hot. I don't know
it's
exactly how hot.
It's flipping hot, so I wore a hood just to be Viking, but I'm taking it off. Screw it. We're inside. This is our hotel room. Why are we in a hotel, Carl?
Because my sister is getting married.
Your sister's getting married. They've been together for a long time, so I'm pretty sure it will be successful.
Yeah, I've had enough practice runs.
So Albert is here. Albert is first. Yay! Ashley's here. She's got thunderstorms. I would like a little rain right now. They have a river running through their tent. Oh my gosh. Oh, but she's been a Viking for a week. Here, you can turn this way, Carl, and they'll hear you better. Because you're facing away. Charlotta's here. She's third. So hello, Charlotta. I'm pretty sure we're probably waving at you somewhere. You're from Bergen. And Raymond Roberts here. He's fourth. You can see the guys boating down there. The ferry boat literally goes right under our window. Sorry, I didn't bring the gimbal. So. I know, and sunny at Albert says, and sunny in Bergen. Where's the rain? So Bergen is like the London of England, I guess.
Of Norway. I think London is the London of England.
London of England, yeah, but it's like the rainy capital of England, and Bergen is the rainy capital of Norway.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you making fun of me?
Yes.
There's my computer's at the window. Right there. No, it's the cords from the sailboat next to us. There's a sailboat right underneath us. I don't have a gimbal, so the camera's very shaky. And that's how we lose the window. That's how we lose the phone. London is the London of England. See, Raymond agrees with me, even though we put laugh out loud on the end. So I have a sneaky suspicion he doesn't, but I'm going to assume he does because, hey. Albert got a great new job. Oh, tell me about it. And let's see, Garcia's here as well. She got here fourth, yay. Okay, fifth. Because Raymond got there fourth. They spoke at the same time. So actually, we got a pretty good amount of people coming in on a Friday, which is good. Here's sister's getting married tomorrow. I think the ceremony is at like 1:30 or something like that. I forget.
Something like that.
And then there's the reception, and I don't know if we'll remember anything after that, much less look at a clock. So, so we decided to stay in the same hotel where the reception is, so that all we had to do was crawl into the elevator and get up the stairs. Or so I thought. Carl, would you like to explain how hard it is to find the room?
Well, it's pretty easy to find the room. It's just that you have to walk around the entire outside of the hotel. The elevator comes up, then you walk down the hallway, turn 90 degrees, down the hallway, turn 90 degrees, down the hallway, turn 90 degrees, and then walk almost all the way to the elevator before you find the room.
I'm pretty sure we're like literally right behind the elevator we get out at, but it doesn't open the other way because there's, I don't know. Let's see. Raymond's got winter down there, so you know he's sitting at a cold 22 Celsius in Western Australia. That's not winter, Raymond. I'm sorry to say it. That's summer in Norway. Kind of fun watching the boat traffic, though. I did actually bring one needle binding project with me. I have to make socks. We have a high demand for socks in the store right now, and I don't know if I can get them done fast enough, but we shall see. Kiwi is here. She's got 28. I think she's in Bergen, isn't you? Aren't you in Bergen, Kiwi? So that's probably what it is around here. I can check on. I have IR. What does IR say? YR.no.
My phone says 27.
Your phone says 27. My computer says 29, but it feels like 30. So we'll just break even and say 28, and Kiwi's probably looking at us from the other side. Yeah. Audra's here again. She's from, I was to say, yeah. She's in Trondheim, but it's 22 where she's at too. Holy crap. And Heidi Lee said she's up there too in Trøndelag. 25 degrees. Oh my God, we're having a heat wave in Norway. Let's see, what else am I missing here now? It's so cool I can actually see the chat because I have the computer right next to see how tricky this is? I can see you. I feel so high tech. Oh my God, I missed the gimbal. It's so shaky without the gimbal. We're just using a tripod. Oh, Albert's working at a golf course. Oh, cool. Let's see. 2 guesses, he says. Raymond guessed the groundskeeper and... Is it your socks? No, Albert, unfortunately, it's not your socks. These are... I need some for the store because we don't have any in the store. Yeah, Kiwi's in Bergen, so I got that right. And Albert is cutting grass, so that makes you a greenskeeper. So Raymond wins the prize there, Albert. Okay, so what is it like getting outside of Gudvangen, Carl? Because this is probably the first time you've been like overnight outside of Gudvangen in 6 months.
There are way too many Norwegian people here.
There's a lot of people. Oh, but look at this boat down here. If I cannot shake it again. Look at the size of the super yacht in the background. There's even a landing pad for helicopters. It has a helipad. Is that about the size of the boat you guided last week, Carl?
I'm not sure if the people I guided came from that boat or a smaller one, but there was a mint green one like that in Gudvangen last
huge.
week.
See, in my opinion, the one straight across right there is a yacht. What do you think? Would you call that a yacht? I'd call that a yacht. It's way bigger than a fishing boat.
I don't know the definitions.
Okay. All right, but I'm going to ask you some questions here. Is there any Viking life in Bergen other than reenactment nowadays?
What do you mean with Viking life outside of reenactment?
Viking life. Like real Viking age stuff.
What is going on in Bergen today?
No. Back in the Viking times, like pre-1066.
Probably yes, but I'm not familiar with it. Bergen becomes really important right after the Viking Age, in the golden age of Norway, the early medieval times.
Ah.
See if you can show the Håkonshallen.
Is that the one that I'm looking at now?
If you just turn the camera a little bit, you
Which
should
way?
be able to see.
This way or that way?
Out.
Okay, let's see. If I turn it, well, you can see on the computer where I'm looking. Okay. Can you see Håkonshallen? I have to turn the light up on that. Whoops.
Not if you do that to the computer, certainly not.
There. Can you see Håkonshallen in that shot?
Yes, barely.
Is it that building on the just behind the super yacht?
It's that one.
The white one?
No,
Wait.
the one behind the white one.
Behind the white one, like there?
Like there, yes.
Okay, I don't know if I can zoom, but we can try. Oops. Ah! I don't know if I like this tripod. Can you see it now?
No.
No, I don't think we can see it.
You can see it.
Yeah? Oh, that's right, there's a delay. Okay, so what is that? I have to point the camera towards you, or you gotta talk louder. Oh, there's a big ferry boat coming through. So it's like right...
commissioned by King Håkon, son of Håkon, one of the really great kings of Norway. And it was first used in the wedding of his son, Magnus Lagabøtti, in 1261, so quite a while after the Viking Age.
I don't know if they can hear you.
Approximately 200 years after the Viking Age.
We'll put it this way and they can hear you a little better. You could have a close-up of Bergen because the microphone goes this way. Anyway, so you're not looking at the building anymore, but we couldn't see it very well. But that was, what did you say? I'm sorry, you're getting your ass kicked for thinking there's too many Norwegians in Norway.
Yeah, no, I'm used to Gudvangen, where Norwegians are limited to at most 5% of the people you meet in a day. Here it's basically fucking everybody.
Well, there's a lot of Americans.
Not only are they Norwegians, but they are the Bergen version of Norwegians. Which are really annoying Norwegians.
You just insulted at least 3 people in chat.
It's my...
Okay, so Carl clearly doesn't just doesn't just insult foreign people. He insults his own. Okay, but what is the... Okay, this is way see, they're laughing. They agree with me. This is way beyond Viking age. But Bergen, I'm going to just tilt it a little bit. You can see all of it from Julehuset. Julehuset is pretty much on the very end. Where's my finger? There. I can't do this. This is too hard. It's very on the end, yeah.
Finger, but yeah.
No. Anyway, it's way on the end there, but that's Julehuset. Julehuset actually does Amazon tours like we do. So we actually got training from them as to how to do the shop commands. But anyway, what is the significance of the street? It has nothing to do with Viking times, I'm thinking.
No, it doesn't. It's the Hanseatic League. If you imagine, it's kind of hard to explain the concept of a medieval league, but if you imagine a super incestuous combination of
super incestuous combination
of a privately owned company and a trade union, you have pretty much what a medieval guild or league would be. The Hanseatic League started when two German cities, one producing fish and the other one producing salt, decided that, hey, if we just join our forces, we can control the salt fish in most of the Holy Roman Empire. And then they just add more and more, and Bergen was their center to basically buy fish off the entire coast of Norway.
So that's a sound I don't hear too often in Gudvangen. It sounds like an ambulance, or is it a fire truck? I don't know if you can hear it. Oh, there's a cool building up there too. Got to show you that too. There's a lot of cool buildings. Okay, so way up. It'll take a while for my computer to catch up. And if I can tilt that up a bit, I don't know if I can. No, I can't. I have to just wobbly hold it. In the straight back, there's a church up there. Oops. Oh, I hate this this tripod. It doesn't sit still. Okay, so what is that building up there?
I have no bloody idea. I'm not from here.
It looks like a church or a very eccentric house.
Yeah, this is a city that contains about 500,000 very eccentric people that we call Bergensere. So they will build houses like that.
Okay, so one thing that we have in Duluth is something I think that house has up there, if it's a house anyway. If that top window was in the very top of the tower there, had a balcony, that was where where the women would look and wait for the sailors to come home. Try to be able to see the sailors coming home from a long trip of fishing.
That might be, but then I think they built it on a weird place.
Yeah, because it's not looking over at the ocean, it's looking more inland, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what you would see from top of that. You would probably see the ocean somewhere, but you have most of Bergen blocking your view.
Yeah. Okay, let's zoom out again and try to stabilize the camera. Oh, there we go. It's a super sensitive, it's one of those little bendy leg tripods. Okay. There, and then there's another building right to the left there behind that like warehouse looking thing. There's do you see it? It looks like almost office buildings on one side, but the other building looks older. The one with the steeple on it.
What are you talking about?
I will point. Let's see if I can get that one right there. What's that building?
I honestly couldn't say.
Okay. Bergenser's people speak up. Okay, what is that building with the steeple? Everybody's boating today. I think it's the only way to stay cool. So the one with the steeple, isn't that the church?
Fire station, that makes sense.
Yeah?
Kiwi is guessing.
Kiwi's guessing. I think that's the Skansen Bronstation, which is fire station, yeah. Skansen, now I'm remembering that stitch again. The Skansen stitch. I actually did finish that hat. I should have brought it. The red hat that I was working on forever. And the stitch was, because you were taking from the middle loop, you were attaching it to the middle before, or M1. It was a little more fiddly to do, so I would maybe like do one row a day. So Peru is freezing down in South Africa. They had rain on Midwinter's Day, and it's not supposed to be rain at all in the winter. Peruda is has been commissioned to take on a bloody sweater project. Peruta, I'm so excited for you. And she says she can't find wool in South Africa. Does anybody know of a great South African wool source? Just thought I'm going to put that out there. I was telling her I did find some wool from Botswana called Kalahari, but it's thin, so you would have to use a really, like, finish 2+2 with it. It was a really cool wool. I actually found it secondhand, though, so I have no idea if they even make that anymore. That looks like a party boat coming in front there.
Well, if I was an African sheep, I think I would be trying my hardest to get somebody to cut my wool quickly.
There are other kinds of wool than sheep wool. There's alpaca, camel wool. That'd be cashmere.
Don't think either of those are common in South Africa.
No. There's kayakers back there too. Okay.
Yeah, but you can't get wool from them.
No. I can show you what I'm working on, but I'll have to turn the camera and it might be kind of darker here. Let's see. So this is what I'm working on. What does it look like? It's a sock, but I don't think you'd want this one. I don't know if you'd want this, Albert. This is just, it's recycled yarn. It used to be a poncho that my kids had but never wore, and it was handmade. I got it. So I pulled it apart. That's why the wool is very curly on the end there, because it was originally knit, and so then, anyway. So this is how I make mine. A lot of people start at the toe, but every time I start with the toe, I have issues because it ends up being longer than I think. So needle binding, it stretches this way, which means if I start at the toe and I get it to my heel and I make everything fit properly, by the time I put it on me when it's all done, it ends up being about this much longer than I thought, but that's because of the stretch that I'm not thinking about. So for that reason, and only that reason, I start from the top where my leg goes, and then the heel will be an afterthought heel. I like the ones that look like, like a finger. You have like on the bottom of the sock, you have, I think Jan Merrickson makes those, and you have like a big long tongue that sticks out like this, and then you increase around the sides, and then it kind of makes the sock hang kind of nicely and look nicely, but I'm not very good at getting that right. Last time I tried to do that, they ended up being way too wide. That sock actually sold, by the way. I think I made them like around Christmas last year or something. I was testing Merve Passanen's pattern in with one needle, where she has a pattern for a foot like that, for a heel like that anyway. But actually there was a guy that came in with size 47 feet. 47! So my feet are like 41, and they were way too big on my feet, but they actually fit him because of the way they stretched it, just stretched right in place. So anyway, even if I make it way too big, a year or so later somebody will buy it. But anyway, so that's how I do it. And this is going to be my toe, and I'll keep trying it on until my pinky toe is covered. When my pinky toe is covered, then I will start decreasing rapidly and then just finish the whole thing off when it's done. But I liked the color of the wool. I don't know if you can see it. There's little speckles in there. But yeah, no, these are to go in the shop. There's 3 people coming through from different countries, actually, that all asked if I could make a pair of socks for them. And I said, I can try to I'll make them for the shop if I have time, and I can try to focus on what your size is. So I said, one of them was a size 37. My foot is a 40-41, and this fits me perfectly, so I screwed that up. But one of them needed a size the same pair of mine, and one other, so. But they will have to go and buy them through the shop, because I can't do things on order. Albert knows exactly why I can't do things on order, because I can't promise I'll be done with them. So there you go. This is Oslo stitch, by the way, but I thought my Oslo stitch would be too see-through or too thin in this wool, because it's been worked before. So I did F2 to make it a little bit more dense, and I'm very happy with the way that looks now. I don't know if you can see how thick it is or thin it is. I don't know, because you don't have any light coming through. If I do it this way, maybe you can. Like, no, it's gonna be too close. I'm just gonna lose it out the window. You can see the light a little bit through it, but not much. So I'm happy with that. So that's my needle binding. Yeah, good Albert. I told Albert though. Yeah, he says I can wait. It's not a rush. No, it's gonna be like a blacksmith sweater. Your socks and Greg's socks. Although Greg did get the green pair, he just has to try them on. He's been away for a little while, but he's returning again, so I can get him to try it. So does everybody know what F2 is if I say that? Let's see. Kiwi also starts at the top of the socks too and thinks it works better. Okay, yeah. So some people think they get a better fit one way or the other, but literally it's just because I'm underestimating the stretch. So that's why I do it that way. So if I start at the top, I know it's going to fit all the way down to the right length. There you go. Albert says socks are socks. Peruta starts at the toes. She has less chance of unexpectedly running out of yarn. That's true. For this one, it was a poncho, so I've got a crap load of it. I think it's at least 700 grams, so I've got plenty. And I didn't make them very tall, because if I made the tall socks, there's no way in hell I'd even finish a pair for the shop. By July, I'm running out of time. F2 has definitely thickened it up a bit, says Raymond. Oh, good. So he agrees with me. And Charlotte says she's doing laundry while she watches and drinks cider with Solbar Soft. Okay, Carl, what do we think about cider and Solbar, or cedar and Solbar Soft?
I have no issues with that.
No, what do you think about cedar that has berry flavor?
I have no issues with that either.
What about that crap in the fridge you'd refuse to drink?
That was beer.
Oh, that was
body taste.
I thought it was cedar that you bought.
The mango passion fruit prickly thingy might have been cider. I don't know. That was horrible. That was perfume. But that isn't to say that you can't make good cider with berries. That I think you could do.
Yeah.
But you should probably keep your berries away from beer.
Okay, so now this is something I didn't even think about. We're saying cedar, not cider, but actually I think the British would call it cider too. But when I think of cider from Duluth, Minnesota, I think of apple juice.
It is apple juice. Apple is the...
But your cider has alcohol in it.
Of course it does. Cider is fermented apple juice, so you have to ferment it, and unless you somehow remove the alcohol, which you probably could do by boiling it.
That's probably what they do, because if you buy apple cider in the United States, it's literally apple juice.
Are you sure there is no alcohol in it?
Absolutely. We give this to our kids.
That would explain a lot.
Oh, we're picking on the Americans now.
I pick on everybody.
It's soft mixed with the drinks. So soft, anyway, is a Norwegian word, S-A-F-T. It means concentrate, so juice concentrate. Did you ever hear the joke? Okay, now we could call it a blonde joke, or we could just pick on whoever Brady wants. So why was the blonde... Okay, I already gave away the clue, but why was the blonde girl staring at the can in the frozen food section?
I don't know.
Because it said concentrate. Come on. I could tell these because I'm actually... Well, I used to be blonde. It's getting darker now. You didn't like that joke?
Nah, it's just aesthetics. It works better with Swedes than blondes, I think.
So, Carl, how are your Swedish relatives doing? Are there anything going to be at this wedding?
I do not have any Swedish relatives.
No. I think if we go back far enough, maybe 3 generations.
If we go back far enough, I'm related to chimpanzees. And I'm less embarrassed about that.
That would explain so much.
That goes for you too, woman.
Yeah, that's true. Fruta says she uses telemark to stiffen up the broom of the broom of a hat. The brim of a hat, I think she means. Yeah, that's a good way to do it, actually. Telemark is nice. Actually, Raymond, you can do telemark. If you can do Dalby, you can do telemark. Telemark, it just means you're going, let's see, I can turn the camera around, and it's now in selfie mode, so it's probably backwards. When you do telemark, you're going back and forth and back again, doesn't matter, and then through. But this is Dalby. You go under this yarn in Dalby, but in telemark you go over. That's it. Ha ha. So you can do it, although this is Oslo. So when I say F1, this is F1, by the way. Taking one new loop is really hard to see the loops with this yarn. But when F2, just in case anybody didn't know, but you guys all know, it's one new one and one old one. Because I do F2, it looks like I have 2 strings there, but I have to take just the old one. But that makes anything a little bit tighter if you're thinking something's too loose. too lacy looking. It might tighten it up a bit. I just spliced, so this is going to break. So I'll give you a break from the wonderful view of Bergen, and you can watch me needle bind because I don't do enough needle binding on Viking Nalbinding anymore. Although today I changed the name to Viking Nalbinding. Did you think that was cute? Because we're not necessarily in a Viking village. This does not look like Viking in front of us, and we're not very Viking today either. I'm wearing just a regular shirt underneath. I'm doing half-assed. This is the other project I'm going to work on while I'm here because I wanted to pack light. I brought one Nalbinding for YouTube, and then I have to fix. This is the hood with its actually chain stitch because it's faster than slip stitch, and it looks close enough in my opinion that I want to do it that way. I finally found, while packing up and moving yarn and stuff, I finally found the yarn for that. This is plant dyed, and this is plant, so I can finish these now. But they actually came apart. The fun thing is, though, is if you look around this leaf here, you can see that the outer row is kind of fallen off. And you can look down here to see actually what color it was. So when I put this row back in, which I have done here, it's amazing how blue it looks. How much my clothing has faded. Yours is faded quite a bit too, but only on one side of your tunic. How come that?
Because I'm wearing a cape over the other shoulder.
I think, no, I did bring the yarn with me, but it's over there. I could have shown what it looked like. Okay, we'll look back at Bergen. There's a boat staring at us. So there it is. Da-da-da. Suddenly there's no boat. We didn't look down this end. Okay, what are we looking at? Can we see the fish market?
Well, the fish market is just an open space where I occasionally sell fish. And it might be a little bit late in the day for that, but it should be in the lower part there.
Okay, well, that's what that part of Bergen looks like, and then we run out of window space. We have this nice little balcony door, but we can't figure out how to open it. I don't think they want us to commit suicide because it's a very skinny little balcony, and the railing is only about butt height. However, so is this window, and you know, it's not an American window, so there's no screen on it. There, see if that stays. No, it wants to tip. Ah! I'm making everybody sick. Okay, we'll just stare at the water. I should wave. I could, but they can't see us up here because the sun is behind us. So we look dark. Kind of. If the sun is behind you, then you see all the light behind you, but everything in front looks kind of darker.
You could flash our pale bellies. I would see that.
Oh, yeah, no, that would definitely send some signals. Maybe not the ones you were hoping for, Carl. Okay. Albert's got, he and Ina have a visitor from Canada. Where in Canada? I have to ask because I'm from near the border. Albert doesn't have any blue in his Viking clothes, Carl. How do we feel about that? Is that because
he really doesn't do anything with my feelings?
No, you don't have any preferred opinions. I'm thinking because it was an expensive color. But he does run around with a silk tunic. So I'm thinking if you can afford a silk tunic, you can definitely afford blue.
Yes, but then again, I can also afford cherry bear, but that doesn't mean I'm buying it.
No, that's true. TB's here. I saw her sneak in. Made it, but had my sound off as to keep from distracting someone sitting near me. And, oh, he's done now. So the sound is on. It's sunny and too hot here in Arkansas. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. They got a heat wave there, and now France is getting a heat wave, too. I think we're actually quite, well, I would like to say we're lucky and we aren't getting a heat wave, but today's pretty hot. But isn't that just normal for this time of year?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You will have hot and cold days. You will have rain and wind and warm, calm days. And usually they come in groups, so we'll just see.
Yeah, so Raymond could do that. He says he reckons he could do the telemark stitch. Give it a go. You'll like it. Just always pull it tight after every row. One thing that's nice with telemark and Dalby, telemark has a little bit more of a ridge than Dalby, but both of them, they're very flat. So if you were ever going to do any embroidery on top of anything, it's a very flat, it makes a very flat work, not so bumpy. I don't know if that could show here. I could try to see. Like this is my Oslo. Oslo has a little bit of ridge, but telemark would look even flatter. I don't know. Somebody said you had ridges in Nalbinding and when you use Oslo stitch, but I don't have any ridges, really. Not so big that I would feel them if I stepped on them. It's a guess. I can needle bind a little bit more for you, and then until the next boat comes. There's a crap load of people in this city. How many of them you think are tourists? How many of them you think are tourists? We heard a lot of American today. Italian.
There are tourists here, but here the tourists are like 5%. In Gudvangen, the Norwegian are like 5%.
Yeah. The Norwegians don't even speak Norwegian to each other in Gudvangen.
Not here in Bergen either. They speak this weird dialect they call Bergensa.
Bergen. Okay, go ahead, test it out.
I don't know how to speak it.
You don't know how to speak it? The Christmas beer episode we did, you try to...
First off, you have to... in Norway, you have gendered word. You first have to completely stop that. Everything is male. There are no female words in Bergen dialect. So even a girl is a male word. So en jente janten.
I can turn. Yeah?
Then... I don't know. I don't think I could even fake it, even though I have been here. I lived a year in Bergen when I was going laboratory, chemistry laboratory studies.
I thought you were going to say laboratory rat, but okay.
The dialect is... If you are speaking bokmål,
Yeah?
but you want to kind of sound like you're speaking nynorsk in an extremely posh way, then it kind of sounds like Bergen.
Yeah. By the way, I have to point out, oh, actually you can see your tan line pretty well from where you wear your hat. But notice Carl is not wearing a Viking hat and he's wearing a dress shirt. I just, wanted to give proof that people at work want a picture of you in a suit. So I thought I'd have to show that.
I think that's going to be hard to pull off.
I'll get a shot. I'll get a
probably
photo.
not have a suit on before you are too drunk to photograph it.
Oh, don't underestimate my sobriety. I'll turn it back around. You can see the view. There's a lot of sea traffic. Let's see if... It's not really showing much skyline, though. It's just mostly water. There, if I can tilt it up more. Nope, it just goes right back down. Stupid thing. So Kipi says, aha, Bergensk. Actually, we do call it Bergensk in Oslo, too, actually. I thought that was almost a word.
That's what the rest of us call it. They themselves call it Bagansa.
Oh, they don't just call it Norsk?
No. Even the Bergen people are in agreement that they're not really Norwegian.
Yeah.
They would say they are better. The rest of us would disagree.
Okay, so... Oh, yeah, did we find clothes for tomorrow? Yep, we did. I'm not exactly happy with mine, but the price tag on mine was pretty good. I come in 90% cheaper than Carl does. Carl has a suit now for 3,000 kroner. I have a dress and a top for 300 kroner. So 90%, I don't know if I can do mathematics. But anyway, mine was cheap. I was surprised when I got there. I was just so happy I found anything that fit anyway. And I get up there and she's like, yeah, that'll be 300 kroner. Would you like to get a membership for our store so you can get a bonus? I'm like, anyway, it'll do. But the thing is, when are we ever going to wear this stuff again?
More people are getting married. Some people are being baptized or confirmated or buried or whatever. So,
yeah, but most people we know when they're getting married in a Viking wedding. So then you're just, you try to find clothes without holes in it.
No, but they have to get married properly too. The Viking marriage is just, it's not really the actual act of getting married. It's more the act of looking at God doing blessings.
Yeah, that's true. The håndfaste. Did we ever talk about Viking marriages? The way they do the ceremony, and what do we know about it other than just what Georg does? There's like this ring that he puts over their hand, like a big ring. It's like it's a bracelet fit for three. I guess. It's a big iron ring anyway, and it was supposed to symbolize eternity, or?
What Georg does is, at the very best, extremely heavily influenced by Christianity. That's as far down this particular rabbit hole I want to go.
No, that's okay. I was just kind of wondering what they actually do know about ceremonies. What's been found?
Well, bloody nothing.
No?
Because there are no manuals for how to do it. They are just briefly mentioned in the sagas. I don't know, we know for 100% certain that there was an actual ceremony. There might just have been, they take oaths bloody seriously.
Yeah.
So it might just have been a swearing of an oath and then a big party. And that is basically what the wedding is.
What about the handfast thing, which is actually means handfasting was hand tying?
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
No, I wonder where that came from, because I keep hearing that term.
But it might also just be a term for marriage.
Yeah, maybe.
And an actual physical tying of the hands, I think, is a little bit too on the nose for the Vikings.
Kiwi said she just started working on a blue peplos dress for a Finnish Iron Age kit. I see a lot of Vikings starting to make peplos the last couple of years. Do you know what those are? They almost look a little bit more Romanesque in the fact that they're attached at the. I can probably turn the camera and point that a little bit better. You have like 2 layers of material, and it's almost like the toga thing, I guess, and it's just attached with the sort of a pin or a brooch here and here, but your shoulders are otherwise bare, and then it kind of cuts off here because it's like a tube. It's like a tube with armholes. So, well, yeah, here we go. It looks kind of like that, and then you when you attach it here and here with brooches on your shoulder, this just kind of hangs, and oftentimes it's folded over, so it looks kind of like that. That's a really crappy way to describe it, but I see a lot of people doing that. But is that just Iron Age, or is that I'd like to go Viking, but sorry, my hands are tied. I see what he did there. That's called marriage. I was married once for 15 years. There we go. We'll look more at that. There's got to be a way to fix the camera so it goes a little higher. But maybe I just have to loosen it and tighten it. Whoa, that was super high. There. Yeah, no, I think I made it 10 times worse. Yeah, screw it. It's good enough. The Finnish peplos dresses have tablet woven edges. Yeah. So I am currently preparing my fabric for that. Oh, that'll be cool. Mary Pasanen made one. She's all over on Instagram, I think, or Facebook posting that. She's the one that wrote with one needle. But I know Andrea Tebanoff, who also is one of our freemen. She's made some too, and they use them at Viking Kulturminneparken in Hörnefors, which has a lot of Viking and older reenactment. Anyway, so can we play Stump Carl with a Viking question? Maybe. Let's see. Can Stump Carl with a Viking question. You waiting for one?
Hmm?
Viking hairstyles. What do we know about that?
You have a little bit of depictions, like on the Oseberg tapestry and some of the metal figurines, but you're kind of blocked by the fact that the Vikings' art is never really photorealistic, so you can't really say for sure. There is very, very convincing evidence of long single braids on women.
Yep, with a knot too.
And some kind of bun. But we don't know if the bun was on a man or a woman.
Well, there's the ferry boat coming in.
The extremely elaborate braidings that you do and that you see in the Vikings TV series, I am extremely skeptical of. They could have. I just don't think they would.
The every once in a while, when you see on social media, Instagram or something like that, you'll get somebody who says, "Oh, you need to stop stealing your hairstyles from African American or just African influence. And I would say they're probably right, because that's exactly where I get my influence from. If you take cornrows and you put them on Caucasian hair, it looks just like the Viking things that we've been doing in the series and stuff.
Cornrows and Rasta braids were used also by the Spartans.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'd call it any one specific.
I don't think a particular ethnicity can basically claim them. But I also have absolutely no idea what African hair would look like in the Viking Age.
No, probably not. I mean, we do have people like Lila Freed, for example. She's got extremely curly hair, and she's Norwegian. Blonde curly hair. If you see her back in the plant dye episode video that we posted on Facebook, Viking Valley Facebook a long time ago, a year ago.
And now I'm talking about hairstyles, not hair types.
No. But I mean, it would look almost the same on her because her hair is so super curly that it would almost look just like the cornrows as well. But
yeah, but you can make that as long as people have hairs. You can make that.
Yeah, that's true.
But
it's not as slippery. Okay, so now that we're looking at a bunch of water, TB comes up with the awesome question of how often did the Vikings bathe?
Once a week.
And then Garcia says, did they bathe? Once a week, okay. And how do we know this?
We can be pretty sure about this because of the names of the days. Lørdag, meaning Laugardag, meaning bathing day. So Saturday was their bathing day. And I also think Louisa was just reading this to basically prepare her guiding.
Yeah.
But there is this one English monk who complains about the Vikings being overly hygienic to try to seduce the English ladies. And I think he says straight out that they bathe once a week.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about that, so I'll double check it. But it seems to have been the way of going about things, that you bathe once a week.
So now that we're on the topic of Laugardag, or Saturday, Lørdag, what about the rest of the days of the week in Norwegian? Sunday, Søndag.
I don't know what the...
What does it translate to? I always tell this one. Sunday, it's sun.
The son of somebody.
Yes,
so
Søndag means Sunday, yeah.
No, not the son, but, a son of someone.
A son of someone. Not like the bright ball of light in the sky?
No, that would be English, not Norwegian.
No, but I always thought it was in Norwegian.
That would be soldag or something like that in Norwegian.
I never thought of that.
But if you say sundag, then you're talking about the day of the sun. So if you think in a Christian terminology, it would be Jesus' day, because Jesus is the son of the Lord.
Ah, okay.
But I don't know if that is where this comes from.
No.
I'm now speculating freely with language.
Yeah,
and this is always dangerous, and people who don't know what they're doing are doing this.
No, okay.
So the correct answer is I don't know.
No. But then Mondag, wasn't that for the moon?
It could be.
Monday?
I don't know. That would be, well, in some Norwegian languages, the dialects, you actually see Mondag, and moon is måne in Norwegian, so that might be correct. I don't know.
But I thought the rest of the days of the week were after gods.
The rest of the days are after gods.
Tirsdag is Tuesday for...
Tyr.
Tyr, yeah. And then Onsdag would be for Odin.
Yeah,
or Wednesday.
Woden, Wednesday, yeah.
And then Thursday is Torsdag for Thor.
For Thor, yes.
Yeah, I've got you crying over there. Friday is Fredag for...
Well, either Frigg, Odin's wife, Freya, Njord's daughter, or Frey, Njord's son. One of them. Don't know which.
See, this is why I don't do guided tours, because I would have got that wrong. I've always been thinking that it was... Yeah, I wasn't sure. But you got another question, actually. This is kind of like, thoughts on embroidery on Viking Age reenactment clothes. I am planning a shawl or a cape with embroidery inspired by the Hesnes grave and Oseberg find. This is a popular question I get because this is actually based on a find. It's Mammen. I just used the wrong colors. However, it was not nearly this big. You can see how big it is compared just to my hand. It was much smaller. On my dress, I also have two snakes that are eating each other. That is completely fantasy on my end. I just basically made two squiggly lines And then everywhere they overlapped, I made sure it goes over, under where they overlapped. And I made sure each line was biting the tail of the other line. I just added a mouth to it. There's a really good book that I went to. Well, I'm calling it a good book, and I haven't really even read it. I've just flipped through it. But The Anatomy of Viking Art, which is something that we have in the store, but we actually sold out. But there's more coming in. I think we sold out of it twice, actually. It's the cover is black book with a white print on it, anyway. But that one of the things they talk about, and the difference between Celtic and Norse design and art. Do you know anything about that, Carl?
Well, they're fairly similar, but I don't have anything to point at.
No.
They follow the same. The Celtic knot and the Vikings dragon ornamentics follow the same
Yeah.
basic artistic rules.
Because we did have a good question somebody was asking her this week, actually. What's the difference between Norse and Celtic? But
And the difference is easy to see. You can very easily say if something is one or the other.
yeah.
But it's kind of harder to formulate. The Vikings generally is more concerned about the foreground than the background. So if they make a dragon ornamentics, you would see a lot more dragons than you would see a background.
Oops, I can turn it on you.
The Celts will occasionally show you much more background, and the foreground is just a small portion of the surface.
Let's see.
The Vikings use dragons, the Celts use wines or something abstract. But I don't know if either of these is absolute.
Yeah. Well, Garcia says that's interesting, Carl. Hubby read the same thing, says TB. I know that a lot of we know there's embroidery that's found, but the rest of it is mostly plausible on my half, but doesn't mean it's true. Because there is so little that survived of textiles, and even less that's survived with embroidery. But a lot of textiles were actually chucked as miscellaneous women's work, and they've put a spade straight through it while digging, something like that, or they just didn't take care of them well and they deteriorate. But they actually haven't found that much. But in my personal opinion, so absolutely nothing to base this on except for my own personal opinion, when you have churches and things, well, stave churches, they're a little bit after the Viking Age, but buildings and things that are found with so much carving and intricate design, and you see that in their metalworking, you see it in all kinds of things, then I want to say it's not too far-fetched that the amount of string you need to embroider something, not much. I don't think it's too far-fetched that I would call that like Viking graffiti anyway. Why wouldn't they? I mean, if they're decorating everything else, why wouldn't they throw some time into embroidery? But if you look up the Mammon one, you'll find the one that's on my hood, and you'll find a couple other ones. One that looks like a face, that's in, a bit like the Scream with the panic. And there's a third one, I think it was also found in embroidery. So they found it, but not much of it, and not huge pieces of it. I mean, not like really large. It would be most likely small.
I don't know. I don't know what how common it is in archaeology, and I don't know how common it should be in archaeology.
Yeah.
So if you find really expensive clothes with no embroideries on it, then it's probably a reason for that.
Yeah.
So just like you don't put embroideries on a modern suit, I might think it is tacky or somehow wrong to put embroideries. Like Runas don't put stickers on a Ferrari.
Yeah. You don't put stickers on a
hard
Ferrari.
It's very hard to basically go into somebody else's mind and see what the landscape looks like. So the Vikings have the runes as written language.
Yeah.
So a lot of Viking reenactors basically interpret that to put runes on everything. And that is probably not the case.
I put runes on my dress.
Just like we have our Latin alphabet as a functional alphabet, that doesn't mean that we write on everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just looks horrendously tacky if you have writing on you.
Yeah, I suppose. It might be a billboard.
If I show up tomorrow in my sister's wedding with my name embroidered on the back of my suit,
Well, I'm going to have to do that now.
that would be odd.
I could do that.
You could, I know, but
The look on his face. I'd show
I
it
don't
to you.
think you would have time.
No, I'd stay up until... I was gonna. Okay, so we have a. I have to. This is kind of fun though. So we have. I have to duck way down though. We have a new guide. His name is Stefan. Andy. He's from. He's got two names. I don't know why, but everybody seems to have two names these days. But he's from Germany. He's been living in Sweden for quite some time. But we thought, since he's starting out as a guide, we thought we would make a name. I'd embroider his name on there and it'd be like Traini. It's spelt like trainee, but you pronounce it Traini. No, you're not feeling it. I was gonna put embroider.
Most likely, he's going to go from being the junior guide to being one of the veterans this week.
Yeah, he actually is. He's doing really well. Okay, I'll turn so I don't have to duck. A bright light on behind us too because we had to have some fill light and then it was just not good in the other direction. So Kiwi says in the Hesnesgrave, southern Trøndelag, they found embroidery on a piece of fabric that was on the top of a tortoise brooch. Oh yeah, that's true. That's kind of a relatively new find, is it not? That's why she's thinking about making an outer garment with embroidery.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, my outer garment has embroidery, but
to us, this looks good. And to some Vikings sometimes, and remember this is 273 years of time, so their ideas of what's cool might be going back and forth. Just like when we now see 1960s fashion, we go, what the fuck were you thinking? And
the clothes my mother made me wear.
1066 might have had the same opinion about 960s fashion.
Oh my god, that embroidery is so 960, Kiwi. You're gonna have to up it a bit.
What was wrong with you back then? You embroidered fucking everything. It's possible, we don't know. That's the...
Days of the week underwear, sarks. Days of the week sarks. We could. This is my mandag kjole. This is my tirsdag kjole.
So, like, for instance, the Bayeux tapestry. The Bayeux tapestry, we just listened to it, to a podcast about it on Norway here.
Oh yeah, we did.
And it has
You're
very
Dead to
many
Me podcast.
complicated functions. It's a propaganda piece for the Normans. It's a piece of art. It might have some subversive elements made by the nuns who were actually making it, and they were Saxon and are basically just making it so the Normans won't murder them.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of propaganda from Bishop Odo of Bayeux. There might be a little bit of propaganda from the widow of Harald Gudmundsson. There is a lot of things that goes into this. But it's a reason it's a tapestry and not a piece of clothing. Mm-hmm. Because if you say instead of the Bayeux tapestry, it had been the Bayeux nightgown or the Bayeux hat.
Yep.
This would be very odd. Why have you written all of your history and put it on this guy?
Yeah.
Who's walking around in a hat and a nightgown?
So we learned some interesting facts. Okay, so the podcast is called You're Dead to Me, and they just started up again for the 2022 season, long awaited. And this week's episode was called The Bayeux Tapestry. And we learned a few interesting facts on this one. Carl, how many penises? Actually, maybe we'll guess. We'll make them guess. How many penises do you think there are on the Bayeux Tapestry? How many penises?
I hope you kept track of that, because this.
I did. I think I did. I'll see if I remember correctly anyway. But you can Google it. But how many penises were found on the Bayeux Tapestry? And the fun thing they thought about this is that it was nuns that were doing it. So how did the nuns know? I mean, and one of them had like a lot of more detail put into the pubic hair than he did into his face. So they go, how did the nuns? Two, says Runa Tobias. Hi, Runa Tobias, by the way. I guess we see him tomorrow. Or maybe tonight. That's your nephew. There's more than two. And we're not talking just human penises. There's a tip. But yeah, as Albert and Charlotta has it pretty much correct anyway when they write many, one of them in big capital letters. I think it was 93. I want to say it was 93 penises. Why I thought that was the most interesting fact of the whole podcast says a lot about me. But anyway.
But only 3.5 of them are human.
Only 3.5 are human. How many women in the Bayeux Tapestry? Do you remember that?
I remember it, yeah.
I remember it. How many women on the Bayeux Tapestry? You got a lot of people killing each other, but... And just to give you some more trivia, because we're almost out of time, how many ships Viking ships, or just ships in general. I think it is on the Vayu Tapestry. Do you remember that number? I think I do.
I don't.
Oh, here comes the ferry again. With the name Bergen on the boat, if you can read it. Favorite topic, says Charlotte. Oh yeah, no, it's a. And Raymond says the whole thing is just one big cock up. The puns are rolling in today. Runda Tobias says, Shite, how long is that French blanket? Yeah, there you go. How long is the French blanket? I mean, it was very skinny, by the way. And and wasn't it who was it that was using it for cannons? So they actually lost a piece of it?
Well, Napoleon
used it for...
wrap ammunition, but
to wrap
that's
ammunition,
not why
yeah.
I lost a piece of it. That
No.
was because I just rolled it up and I kept opening it in the same angle.
Oh, yeah, okay. So every time, yeah, because the piece that they lost was on the end. Okay, so it was, I believe, well, anyway, only 3 women. Was I correct in remembering that?
Yeah.
There were only 3 women on the entire tapestry. And I think 27 ships on it.
I believe it was more than 100 ships.
Was it more than 100?
Double check.
Okay, and then 27 might be something else.
So,
Yeah, okay, so we'll check that fact. Well, I obviously should fact check it because we were only, by the time we got here is right about when they were going to do the quiz section. And how long was the Bayou Tapestry? This I think I remember. 64 or something, almost 70 meters.
Yeah, it's close to 70. I think it's 69.4.
Yeah, 69.4 meters. That thing is really long. So then this wonderful guild of women in, I believe it was in England, that decided to recreate it. Except for all the men with dongs hanging out are wearing underwear.
Yeah,
But the horses' penises are everywhere, and they didn't put any underwear on the horses. Or did they? I think that's actually, it's cute, but it's a little sad at the same time.
You're right, it's 41 ships.
41 ships. No, I said 27. I was wrong. 41 ships?
Yeah, but it's closer than more than 100.
Yeah, okay.
202 horses, though. Not
So-
all of them have penises.
Now, when Raymond writes 69, dude, do you think he's referring to, or his question actually is, does 69 meters have any significance when it comes to a dong-infested tapestry from the French?
Since the metric system comes much later, I would say no.
No? Okay, sorry, Raymond. Nice try. No, but we're out of time here. I'll turn the camera around a little bit if I can hold it straight. So you can kind of see us in the hotel room here. Look, nice bed. Okay. We're leaving you. So this is what we look like now that you've been watching basically the harbor stuff all day long. What did he write? If you're going to remake something, you do everything or nothing. Or it gets the dongs back, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, the women who made the remake in the 1880s they have photographs, very early photographs, but
Yeah.
the man who gave them the photographs had just painted little bathing shorts on all the naked men.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't know what the penis looked like.
Well, the nuns did.
The nuns did.
The nuns knew more
But
about the
the-
pubic hair than the guy's face in the picture.
The nuns in 1066 were a little bit more earthy than they are these days.
I guess.
And probably more earthy than your average Victorian era woman.
Maybe some of them became nuns after they played the field.
And also, the Catholics don't land hard on the
Oh, thanks,
idea of
Stevie.
celibacy until about this time or a little bit later. So before that, yeah, of course you can bang somebody and still worship God. We don't see a problem with that. Oh yeah, no, there is a big problem with that. You can't do that. Yes, you can. No, you can't. Confused religion.
Back off, women, he's mine! Tell you the bedtime stories are the best. Are we doing anything on Saturday, or can we go back to Saturdays this week? First,
I don't know of anything, but I haven't.
yeah.
I haven't rubbed the magic 8 ball, so I don't
Rub
know.
the magic 8 ball or the calendar in the Viking Valley. I think we'll be back on Saturday again at 6 o'clock, but I'm so glad so many people turned up anyway on Friday. I had a little bit more time to post a notice too today, which was quite nice. So because I thought we were going to be still outside. I didn't know if we'd make it back to the hotel in time, but I'm glad we did do it in the hotel though, because it's really loud and buzzing out there with people.
Yeah, and the people are nuts. They're the locals.
Oh, they have no respect for space. They're locals. There, I'll make you feel better, Kiwi, and Charlotte, and all the other Bergen suit out there. Okay, see you Saturday. Yeah, have fun at the wedding, they say. We'll have fun. And we promise to roll ourselves up the stairs and then take a right, and then take a right, and then take a right, and then take a right until we find our room.
No, the plan is to go and eat a duck.
Yeah, we're going to go get duck. We came all the way to Norway, to Bergen to have duck. So, okay, see you.
Bye.